As a young adult, I went through a major life change and found myself homeless in Scotland for a while. I know what it is to sleep in a bush, and I've lived pretty wild in Inverness. I reconnected with a long-term family friend. Now, because of my interest and the questions were on my mind, I came about to demonstrate to her many of the what are called the psychic gifts. I used to say things like, mark this in red in your diary. This is going to happen on such and such a date. And I would describe to her things that would happen, and they would happen. She never wrote these things in red in her diary. It was just a saying I used to have. If she had done, she might have been able to follow the things that I was saying more clearly. Personally, I would say that this is more than like just knowing things that are obvious if you just look around you. But the thing is, I so often see that even with intelligent people, they're not able to cotton on to what I'm talking about somehow. So maybe I do have a gift that some people don't have, or an interest. Let's just say it that way. That's the way to put it. Maybe I do have an interest that some people don't have. An interest in seeing the precursors of events, the precursors of people's responses and responsiveness to life, reality, and events in real life. And that's maybe how I'm able to read people and events. I was able to sense and have a psychic vision, a mental, internal, inner eye vision of the passing of certain comets, for example, coming close to Earth. For example, the comet they called 1996 JAR 1. And I was able to back that up in saying at the time that there would also be a time that there would also be a news item on TV which reported on local Scottish Highland News TV that would report that there had been a population explosion of seals which would swim upstream, up rivers, eating the fish, meaning that local fishermen catch of fish had taken a nosedive. Okay? This population explosion of seals being a direct result of the various metals or substances, whatever substances they were, that were contained in a tail of this comet 1996 JAR 1 falling into the waters. Okay? Lo and behold, that very news item was on Highland News. Now, this is something that I made a prediction of, and I'd said to my friend, mark it in red in your diary. There are various other things that I predicted, too many to even remember, and at the moment I can't really even remember even one of them because I'm making this video. And lo and behold, the friend that I'm referencing has since had a stroke. She's in a care home. I have repeated to her that for years she used to beg God and the universe to strike her dumb with a stroke. Please, God, strike me dumb with a stroke. And lo and behold, literally, she has actually got what she asked for. Sounds like I'm being cruel. I'm not being cruel. I'm just trying to say things very clearly for the camera without, cracking up and weeping. How do you tell stories without actually telling them as stories, without being dramatic? I demonstrated some healing abilities in that this very same friend came to me plenty of times with various different ailments that she had. One of them was a serious bout of irritable bowel syndrome, and within one day of me giving her a laying on of hands called a Shen therapy session at the time, her irritable bowel syndrome was gone. Another time, an excruciating toothache. I did a healing on that toothache. I did not touch her at all physically. I put my fingers a distance, I don't know, 6 inches or so from her jaw, and told her this is going to hurt. And for a while it did hurt. It made it worse. And then it completely took the toothache away, 100% gone. I can't prove any of this, not now that she's in a care home. She can't speak. Anybody that knows her doesn't know these stories and won't back me up anyway. I did various healings on other people. I've lost count of how many. I'm not going to say it's hundreds, because it isn't. I would say it's in the region of about, 25? A lady who'd been a nurse was one of my favourites. Her and another nurse had tried to lift a heavy patient into a bath, and the other nurse had let go, and my friend had continued to hold on, and she had collapsed with the patient. And as a result of this, she said that within a short time she collapsed onto the floor. Her left leg gave out on her. She went into the ladies' toilets in the hospital, and while she was sitting on the toilet, her womb fell out. She pushed it back up inside herself. She said that within a couple of days she was paralysed, literally, from the neck down, and had been paralysed from the neck down for 21 years since. I met her, 21 years later. I was introduced to her by a local kinesiologist, and from what I can suss between certain people's stories, she'd introduced me because she'd heard that I was a healer and wanted to disprove me. This particular lady had all kinds of therapists and healers go to see her, including members of the White Eagle Lodge and various other American Indian type, spiritual type societies go to see her, most of which to no avail. I came along, and within a fortnight she was balancing along the curb as long as you and I can balance, dancing in the street, fully able to walk as I can walk. Shortly after, the same kinesiologist came back and gave my friend there a thorough rollicking and psychologically knocked her back and destroyed her confidence. I don't know what was said, what tone of voice it was said in, because I wasn't there, how it was said or why it was said. I don't know what went on, because my life, very soon after that, went in a completely different direction, i.e. I had to find a home